Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Moon Mama podcast. This is BRIA Jamie. I'm a mama, I'm a wife, I'm an artist, creator, spiritual practitioner, and I just talk about all the things here. This is what we do on this podcast. All things parenting, relationships, spirituality, just being in the moment. And that's something I've been really practicing a lot lately. You might hear my kid in the background. Dad's watching him in the other room and they're cooking dinner. I'm here with my pregnancy tea, 27 weeks pregnant. And as I'm heading into this third trimester, if anyone who's pregnant or mom listening, you get it. You know, it's like a whole other mode that you get into when you're pregnant. Especially when we're having like a mindful, conscious pregnancy. For me, that's something that's super important, to be very intentional about everything that I do, just in life in general. So when I got pregnant, you know, that was always the intention, to be intentional always, to be mindful, to be conscious. I'm reading quite a few books right now, and that's kind of the mode that I'm in. I'm in this more like relaxing, like everything's shifting. I've made so many adjustments and changes, which is what I want to talk about today. There's just a lot merging through. I even like wrote notes because just to like get my thoughts clear, and there's just a lot of good things. There's ups and downs always, you know, third trimester, and things are starting to feel more real, if you know what I mean. Physically, mentally, and I think because of the physical part of it being more real, that's where it just kind of prompts you almost to start slowing down a bit more, start really thinking about things. Like, I'm definitely way more sensitive as I get into this third trimester. I noticed this last time, and I think on my last podcast, I talked about how like comparing pregnancies and like it's not that different, but actually it's not that I don't want to take it back, like but I'm definitely starting to notice more of differences within like the energy I think that's mainly what it is. It's the energy, and I think that's what attracts the type of soul that's coming through, which is another thing I want to talk about, because like that's a whole, like, I'm super excited. I've been reading this book, Spirit Babies, and I've been really connecting with the soul that's coming through. And it's just, you know, I'm going to talk about that now actually, because it's like why everything I think is shifting. I think as a mom, and when we're pregnant, we do get into this whole other intuitive level of just really being in our bodies. We're really in deep communion with another spirit that's coming through. So I've been reading this book, Spirit Babies, and I've been wanting to read it for so long. Actually in my last pregnancy, but I didn't get to it. This time I just felt really called to. I had talked to a friend about it, and she was reading it, and I was like, oh my God, I got to read that. And it's super in alignment with the work that I do in the Akashic Records with soul realignment, you know, past life stories, you know, why and how we attract the families and circumstances upon birth, and our upbringings and all of that. And when I had Soul, my firstborn, I really, even like when I picked his name, like it was him telling me his name. Like it was just like such a transmission. I felt the energy. I felt his soul, and his name's Soul, but S-O-L, like the sun. And I'm getting more and more clarity on even his soul, and he's showing it more and more to me as he gets older. And guys, you got to read this book. It's so good. It's called Spirit Babies. Gosh, I can't remember the author's name. Walter, I think. He's like clairvoyant. I love this type of stuff. Like, I'm all about it. I could talk about it for hours. So that's why I have this podcast, so I can talk about it and even share some of the downloads that I've been getting, the past life stories that I'm getting to work through with my babies, that I'm so excited that I get to talk to them about as they get older, and we can really heal together, all of us. And, you know, I wasn't sure if I was having a boy first or a girl. But like something told me like deep down, it was like there was this grounded, stable energy. It was just like, no, don't even worry about it type of vibe. So I just knew like there was a really powerful soul that was coming to Fabian and I. And now this is 2 years later. I'm having my second baby and I'm a whole other person. I've done a lot of work. I've done more soul realignment, more readings, more spiritual practice. I sit and meditate more. I'm in a totally different phase of my life. So I have even a different energy now. And I know that so there's this conception contract that we come into with our babies before they, are in our womb space, essentially. And then that's the whole ride. And this girl that's coming through, and I talked about it in another podcast, how I just knew she was a girl. I knew. I've been feeling this energy, and I look back, and I talked about this also in the other podcasts, was like, it was like I was already communicating with her after having soul. It was moon energy. It's intuitive, it's soft, it's sweet, it's gentle. It's very feminine. And I just became so in my feminine after having soul. And the moon helping me birth soul on the full moon, really proving her power and just the power of the woman, power of the womb, the power of the feminine, power in general of just a woman in our wombs, and the power to create. I had talked about the rite of the womb ceremony that was so powerful for me, and I've continued to do it, and now I'm a womb keeper and I can offer these ceremonies, and it's such a rite of passage, birth, entering into this stage of motherhood, and going from maiden to mother. And it's an ever evolving journey, and it's constantly changing, and it's always like adjusting, and there's always things coming up. So I've been getting so many like epiphanies, downloads, just like from the spirit, from her, from the baby soul that's going to come through. I'm so excited to meet her. Like, I'm just so beyond, like, I already know her. Like, her and I know each other. And it's like, it's going to be a reunion when she comes through, and it's like we're all going to be together again, because her soul and I have had our last lives before together. And it's super magical. And I know Fabian has a huge part in it too. And I'm even being called to, when we move up north to live closer to his family, like I'm being called to also like Catholicism and learning more about that, and the heritage of the Mexican culture, the Mayans. It's really, really beautiful. Like I'm feeling all this Mayan energy, like ancient. It's like I know that she is also like, her and Fabian have some connection, past life history, like we all do together, which is why we choose each other, why we attract these people in our lives. It's so powerful. It's so cool. I really recommend this book. I also recommend that book, Journey of Souls. I'm a big reader, so I'm always talking about books, and like these have been such big parts of my spiritual transformative journey. But Journey of Souls also, like, that was one that I read years ago, and that literally opened my whole mind, my eyes on the soul journey and how we evolve, how we choose our bodies, how we choose our families. Because for me, I've always been asking why. I have not always been happy in my circumstances as a child, growing up with my family, and I realized the karmic contracts that we've had to resolve and work through, and they're ever resolving. And now, being a parent myself, I'm starting to realize, wow, like, here's another reason why I chose them. And even though it was difficult, it's been not without a lot of challenges. I get it. And I see why I'm moving forward into my own family that I'm creating now, and how I can heal and we can change together. And it's really, really beautiful. I've had a really beautiful experience being a mom. It's not always easy. It really isn't. I mean, parenting is not easy. There's always new stuff. Our energies, like, we get tired. Some days we don't feel like momming it. There's some days I'm like, I don't want to be a mom. Like, I literally, like, what am I doing? Why did I choose this? But it's like, I know why. My soul knows why. My babies know why. My husband knows why. We all know why. And it's such a beautiful thing to come together and be this community. And so that's the next thing, is that I had this book club that I was going to start. The Labor Like a Goddess book club. And when I tell you about divine detours and how Spirit's constantly leading me in new directions, I've never felt more like there's the epiphany light bulb going off of being like, okay, no one's signing up. This is like, okay, I'm not showing enough effort. I'm not even thinking about it a lot anymore. Yes, I want to read the book. Yes, I love doing the work. But if other people aren't in alignment with that with me, why am I going to try to... I can't force. I can't push. I'm not that type of person. I'm not a great marketer. And I'd have to be honest and real about that. And I'm 27 weeks pregnant. Like, I got to be real with myself. Can I be committing to something every week? I could, but do I really, really want to? I changed my mind. No, I don't. And especially when the answer is clear as day, when you're not getting the response that you want, that's like, there you go. There's the universe showing you, okay, maybe you got to change something. Maybe it's not now. Maybe one day it will be that I have a group thing. But right now I'm really feeling the group thing isn't for me. I think I might have talked about in another podcast, I had met with a bunch of different ladies and had been like just constantly like meeting new people, and I just started to get overwhelmed because I'm like, it's not something I've been used to doing in the past few years. I used to be a social butterfly. I mean, parties, I'd have tons of people, always hanging out with people. It's like I was never actually alone. I never really had a time in my life where I was fully alone. Not even like it's like I was always had a relationship and I always had a ton of friends around. So, I had a brief period before Fabian and I got together that I was single, and I had to really hone in on that. And, it wasn't that long. Honestly, I was only really, truly single for like 7 months, 8 months. But, and we already, like, in between those months, him and I had already started dating. So we're truly, truly single, like a few months. And so that time is so sacred too for any of you listening who don't have a partner right now. It's a beautiful time to really get one-on-one with you, that self-love journey, that connecting with your highest and being able to attract either the person that you want to be with, if that's your intention, or just living your life of abundance and following your callings and purpose. And so I've realized that this is my community. It's my family. It's my husband. It's my son. It's my daughter that's coming through. There's going to be plenty of time for big groups and having parties and hosting again, but it's not now. It's not offering group work. Or having a lot of commitments. I can't even do commitments right now, and I'm realizing that that's okay. Not everyone needs to do commitments and be a commitment type of person. Trust me, I know a ton that are like, they need that. They're really good with the schedule. They're really good with that every Tuesday thing. The every day I do this at this time. That is not me. It probably will never be me. And I'm okay with that. That's what works best for me. So when I realized that this book club, I wasn't getting the response that I wanted, in order to do it. And, obviously the financial value is important. I can't just offer my time for free anymore. Like, I was doing that so much, and at some point you start to realize, do people really value that? Or is it being taken for granted? You have to feel good, especially when it's like, I got to take care of my family and we do need to have finances. I got to make sure that I do a lot of this work and it is of value and there should be a price to it. I've paid for a lot of things that I get the most value out because I put my pretty penny up for it. So, the whole investment thing, that I'm in a whole new world with that, but it's also difficult for me. It's difficult for me to want to charge, to ask for it. And I think that it's not being reciprocated because my energy it's still shy about it. So I've had these realizations, and I also realized I just love to talk. I love to read. I do voiceover. I constantly am auditioning for stuff, and I realized I got to get into the narration world. I got to seriously do audiobooks, and I love to read out loud to people. And if that's what I want to do, I got to just get into that and get some money for it. So right now, book club is not for me, but I had some really beautiful realizations through this process. And it's like I needed to try that out, experiment it, to realize, okay, spirit, highest self, this is not the time. And I don't want to force people to want to do this work. This is some sacred work that I personally want to do. And it's okay if other people don't want to do it right now, or maybe they want to do it on their own. Maybe it's too much to share it. So I also realized this is perfect. The book and the book stuff, the book work is perfect to share. So I'm going to be using a lot of the stuff and activities in there to share, whether it's on my podcast, on my YouTube, as content, in blogs, whatever. I'm going to just use that as a sense of inspiration and encouragement. And I'm going to keep doing that work because that is what I'm super called to do. But book club ain't happening right now. I have to take off a lot off my schedule because that's what feels right. That's what my soul is saying. You are preparing to have a new child in 3 months, a whole new world of responsibility. I don't need to be focusing on too much business responsibility right now. I need to do what I'm familiar with and work on my body work on my birth work with my family, with myself. And that's what works best for me right now. I got to find a doula. I'm looking for a doula. I'm really, really particular though. It's like I'm intentional about wanting it to be like birth to be a ceremony. It's going to be a ritual experience. So I need somebody who holds that space and really, really helps with that. And it's funny too. There's been all these changes, and I've changed my mind with like a bunch of things. Like I was gonna do a baby blessing ceremony, and I've realized like something's telling me, girl, you don't need anybody to come bless your baby. You've been blessing your baby. You are the best blesser of the blessers to bless your own baby. It just wasn't working out. It's costing so much, and it's becoming stressful. It's starting to become making me angry about the process. And I'm like, I cannot be angry about this process. And this is where the spirit baby is communicating with me and saying, Mom, I'm way more simple than that. Okay. You don't need to do all these things. There's going to be times when I will be able to. She'll be here and I get to facilitate for her. Right now, I get to facilitate for me. And I have to be comfortable and okay with that because it's just not working out. I've been trying. I've tried to get people to do it. It's either way too out of the budget, or it's just they're not available, the people I do know. So there is another sign. There's another divine detour being like, let's make this easy. Let's make this simple. That's what feels good right now. And this is where I have to share with you guys that it's always about your intuition. What feels good to you? What are you trying to force? Is it because somebody else did it? And this is what I tell myself. Just because I saw someone else do it for so many times and, oh my gosh, I thought I had to do that. Oh, I would love to do that. Yes, I would love to do that. But if it's not working out, it's okay. I can do it a different way. So now I've also gotten the message from the spirit baby that, to separate our birthdays, because I was trying to make it a combined thing because I had some girlfriends coming in from out of town for my birthday. I was like, you know what, let's make it a 1-day thing, a 1-weekend thing, and that's it. I'm not even gonna have a baby shower. I'm just gonna do birthday, my 30th birthday, and the baby blessing ceremony. And baby girl's like, I still want my own thing. Like, that's your birthday. You celebrate your birthday. You have your weekend. So now I'm planning a whole different thing for my birthday weekend. And now she's getting her own little baby shower that we're going to just do at our house. You know, it's like, we're going to make it simple or something. Something that's just simple, but it's all about her arrival. And that's starting to feel way better. I just feel like I took a load off. It's crazy because that might sound more stressful to some people, but right now that's like, this feels so good. So I'm just trusting in these divine detours. That's like, I'm like, we're allowed to change our minds. Like, it's so funny. I heard a client of mine, she has a podcast and it's so good. I listen and tune in often, and it's so crazy. She literally was talking about the same exact thing. And I was like, oh my God, I was literally about to talk about this on my podcast. We're allowed to change our minds. And if it's something's like off, doesn't feel right. Like, you got to go with that and you got to trust that. And it's not out of a safety thing. You know, sometimes it can be, but we have to discern for that. We have to double check. Okay, is this because I'm not trying hard enough? But when you have tried and you've put certain things in, you're like, okay, no, this is like, it's just not meant to be. This is like becoming a struggle. It's becoming unnatural. It's becoming ridiculous. It's like, and then when you're just becoming angry about it, it's like, there's no point. This is not healthy. This is not good. Stop. Recheck. Where's your intentions? What are you really trying to get out of this? So maybe it's that I'm sensitive, but no, I'm just very connected to my intuition. I'm connected to the spirit baby with this baby girl and my highest self that knows my soul, knows what works best for me. And right now it's just being home with the family. It's not going out and socializing all the time. It's like enjoying these last few months of it just being the 3 of us and preparing for it to be 4. So I'm super excited. There's just like, you know, it's like my body's changing. I've gotten bigger. I actually had like a few days, like several days of like feeling a lot of fear. And that's the other thing about pregnancy I want to touch on a little bit is like, there's a constant like trusting of your intuition and feeling this baby, like really being in communion with the soul, because that soul is there with you and you can communicate with it if you choose to, and if you really sit with it. And I had a few days where I was hardly feeling any movement. So right now my placenta's in the front, and that's different from my last pregnancy. Last pregnancy, soul was very, very stable. He was put for a while. I don't think he moved at all, like after a certain point. But this girl, I can tell she's moved around. She's like been side-lying. She's been upright. Now I feel like she's feet on the bottom, breached. And I feel it all. I don't need to go get checked, but I did reach out to my midwife at one point because I'm not going to lie. I was checking online, lots of stuff for like 2 days, kind of making myself crazy. But the spirit baby kept saying to me, Mom, stop. There was just like it was like a rolling of the eyes, kind of like, Mom, seriously, I'm fine. Like, just let me be. And I'm like, oh my God, that was me. That was literally me as a kid. So I'm like, this is a little bit different of this girl energy of this, like, she really, really, really wants me to trust her because she's way more quiet. She's way more mysterious. She is completely different than Soul. Soul, I was like, his present was the sun. He was strong. He was like constantly there. Constant movements. Like, it was just so different. This girl... It's the moon. She's the moon, literally. So I have the sun and I have the moon. They're showing me the masculine. They show me the feminine. It's really cool. It's really beautiful. But so I talked to my midwife. She's like, well, you can definitely come in and we can, you know, check heart tones just to like, you know, give you peace of mind. And I that's when I knew like a few hours later, you know, that I sent that message at like 4 a.m. I went back to sleep, and I woke up and baby girl is like moving around, and I'm like feeling her like completely, and I'm like, see, maybe she wanted me to get to that point to see how far I'd go, but no, but like I just didn't feel like going in. I don't feel like I need that confirmation. I don't want to doubt. I don't want. I want to try. I want to trust. I don't want to be in doubt. I know everything's okay, and if I've always prayed, and I've always said, I will know if something's wrong. I will know if I need some medical intervention, and I just know that I won't. I haven't before. I trust that I won't. Look, things can change, but I'm not manifesting that, so I'm in constant prayer and affirmation that all is well in my world and everything is going well. Affirmations are so important. Your energy is so important. And really just trusting your body and trusting your baby and really connecting with your spirit baby. It is so, so beautiful. It's magical. It's a whole other world to be able to have that. And, I've read so many birth stories before. I've had lots of friends. They do, have their birth stories. And I've been in a mode this time where I'm not checking into that. I've heard, just popped up, things have popped up, and, I've seen things here and there. And, everything, it's always like, it's not my story. I got to do things my way. And because some things can trigger things for sure, like trigger certain things. I always thought that I would have a home birth, and, I really wanted to have a home birth, and also like, just with like a doula, or just with one person. But honestly, like it's been so hard to find somebody here in California. Like I'm all about the whole free birth thing, and I wish I had a little bit more support. And I don't want to keep wishing things to be a different way. The way I'm doing it right now feels really good. It feels like this is what it's supposed to be right now. It's different in California than I think in other states where, I don't know, I know people do it, but I also don't have anyone in my life that I could lean on for support that's close by, that is willing to even be there for me if I were to do that. There's not one person I could call on that wouldn't charge an arm and a leg. And that's been a huge factor. I'm so grateful that I've been able to have the care that I have at Pure Births without any cost because of my insurance. So that feels good. That is what's working for these pregnancies. That's where we're at. And this is where I have to be fully sunk into that and just accept that and allow that and really love that. And so that's my practice. As much as other people are doing other things, I read these stories and, I don't need to be in an envy state. And I've been working through it. Part of the reason I've had to get off social media, not watch anybody's stories, not look at any posts, just go on, post when I can, protect my energy, protect my thoughts, my mindset. If you know something's going to trigger you, if it's like, why are you going to put yourself in that situation? So lots of adjustments, really, really just reading my books. I'm reading the Spirit Babies book. I'm reading, what is this book called? Mindful birthing for, oh my gosh, what's it called? Mindful birthing for pregnancy and childhood. I gotta tell you guys right now, I have the Libby app. It's really awesome. Okay, mindful birthing, training the mind, body, and heart for childbirth and beyond. It's by Nancy Bardock, where I'm reading Spirit Babies. I've been reading The Artist's Way. I haven't read that one in a few weeks. And then I just got 3 new books. I'm so excited. I'm also doing the Labor Like a Goddess on my own. And I'm going to share those topics in the next podcast. I'm going to be sharing all the things that are coming up that I'm learning through that. I'm going to share it there. Who knows where else I'll share it. I'm constantly changing. It's my Gemini moon. I'm not going to apologize for it. I'm just going to love it and be it and flow with this beautiful pregnancy and just accept all these new changes because it's always changing. We are women. We are changing. We're humans. Us humans, we're allowed to change. We're allowed to grow. We're allowed to evolve and do what's best for us always. So I just invite you to just tune into your own intuition, close your eyes, go within, and take moments for yourself to really meet with yourself. And if you are a person that's just like wants to know, if you feel lost, if you feel like, I don't know who I am, well, I can help you with that. I do readings. I do Akashic Records, soul profile readings, soul realignment sessions. So what we do is we take a look at your soul's divine blueprint, like what the soul was created as, with your divine gifts, what soul groups you originated from that say a lot about your personality. It's almost like astrology. I don't even want to compare it to astrology because it's so much better and so much more individualized. This is about you and your soul. Your divine soul blueprint. I get to look up for you and tell you all these amazing things through the Akashic Records based on your intention. So if you need help with that, and if you want to find out anything that's karmically affecting your future, your path, the goals that you want to achieve, and if you just want to like really get into know where you're at and who you are at soul level, the soul realignment session is a really great reading to do. I do offer other readings, but that's the one I'm called to talk about right now because that's helped me a lot. That helped Fabian a lot. Well, him and I got together after we did our clearings and our readings. And I've had a lot of really amazing success stories with clients that really love this session. And it's also beautiful, like, for me to know my close friends, like, who they are at soul level. And I see it all the time. And I'm like, wow, that's so cool how they can use their gifts in certain ways and why that career works out for them. And I also helping people when they realize something's not working for them. It's like, okay, well, that's just not the soul's energy center is not there. It's super, super cool, super interesting. So I'm going to do more of those. I'm going to do more readings. I'm just going to be into that mode as I finish these last few months of pregnancy. Everything's starting to feel good. It's starting to solidify that I've like made these changes. Now that we're in Aries season, spring equinox, it's time for that fresh, clean, new starting energy. So we just started a new zodiac year, guys. Like, it's time to really clean up and, like, tap into you and give it all you got. Let that fire energy rise in you. We all have it. We all have this spark of energy that comes, and we can really utilize this time right now, this season, this Aries season of just like going forth on all those things that we want to do. And you know what? Trust the process. It's always about trusting the process, and you can change your mind. It's okay. No one's going to come after you. Trust me, I get afraid sometimes. What if someone's going to think, oh my God, are they going to think I'm just a talker or a failure? This and that, right? And it's like, ego, stop. Affirm. You're into your affirmations. Get into your meditation. Get into your practice. Have a practice where you can come back to you and be with your highest. So I'm going to leave on that note. Today, it feels so good to just talk about all this stuff. And I just hope that you have a really, really beautiful day and night. Whenever you're listening to this, know that you are love, know that you are light, know that you are pure power. So I will see you guys in the next episode. Thanks for listening. If you like this, please leave 5 stars and a review. It helps the show so much. And again, lots of love to you. Bye.